Man. Okay, I guess that's the only way it can happen. Oh man, got two people slid in already. What's going down? You know what I'm saying? Holla at your boy. I'm about to say, talk to me. Who in this bad boy? I want to get a few people in before we start. Before we start up. Yo, I'm not jolly. What's good? As y'all know, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? I honestly didn't think that the signal would pick up, so I'm actually surprised that I'm going live and whatnot. So now that the season is over, what shall we do? You think we should target Morgan Burnett? Yes and no. One move that I am upset about, the Quentin Dunbar resigning. I'm upset with that. But you can't get them all. I know Turner. I know he got an extension today. That fucked me up. Because he was the top corner on my list. I had, like it or not, I had him over Malcolm Butler and slightly over Tremaine Johnson, just due to his skill set versus theirs. But hey, like I said, some people can agree to disagree. I look at the game of football a little bit different. Butler depends, because I've seen Butler play some phenomenal football, and also I've seen him play some shitty football. Believe it or not, I thought he would be a lot better, but Tremaine Johnson had a suspect year, so I mean, don't get me wrong. The way I project these corners and how they're gonna look, you gotta factor in where we should go, Tremaine. I definitely agree. We should go with Tremaine Johnson. And like I was saying, just getting ready to say, a lot of these guys, I project these guys based off of a healthy Texans roster. Oh my gosh, sorry about that, y'all. Wish she'd go to sleep. But nah, as I was saying, I project these guys. Although you think Vrabel actually leaves, who will look better with? Okay, Vrabel. I'm not on that whole he should be fired train, because saying that he should be fired is it's not as credible as saying Bill O'Brien should be fired. And last time I checked, sorry about that. Last time I checked, Mike Vrabel, he was at the heart of all the injuries. He's the one that suffered the most when you really think about it, because not only did JJ go down, but Whitney went down. Then DJ Reader went down. I mean, what positive result can you expect? I don't even think if Rack would have came down. I mean, if Vrabel decides to go be a head coach, I mean, looking at it for what it is, depending, like it said he was going to leave unless he got. I mean, I don't know what to tell these dudes, man. I mean, I don't know. As far as like I said, if Vrabel wants to go, be my guest. You know, this is a well-oiled machine, and it's gonna keep functioning with or without him. You know, like those saying goes. You know, do you want to be a part of history, or do you want to be against history? You know what I'm saying? And most guys that are against history are the guys that's having to put their motherfucking head back down. You know, type shit. But I mean, let's see. I think Bob should go to OC. I'm not jolly. I can agree with that, bruh. But let's call it for what it is, and let's be realistic. The Rams ain't letting him go. The Rams are not firing him. So, as much as I love that idea, I gotta be realistic. You know, as far as Bob, I mean, God damn it, Bob. As far as B.O.B. being the OC, I like him better as a head coach, and that would be very disrespectful. That would be spitting a lot of disrespect on that man's name. And personally, looking at what the man has had to work with, I feel like a lot of Houstonians and a lot of Texans fans should put a lot more respect on Bill O'Brien's name than what he has. You know what I'm saying? That's just me personally. Let's see. 100. You know, hold on, gotta take a sip of this real quick. Gotta love this. Gotta love this shit, man. I'm not jolly, and it's funny that you mention that, because the guy who I would love to have as our OC is none other than the head coach of Clemson. Now, I catch so much shit for this, but at the end of the day, looking at it for what it is, if I'm Dabo Swinney, I'm heavily considering, you know, like what's going on. I would heavily consider the future, you know. It's his future. You know what I'm saying? Okay, yeah, I see what you mean, Ferocious, but if you want to be technical about it, he should have beaten both Seattle and New England. But, you know, due to coaching errors, you know, those games were lost. But all in all, I look at it like, if for some weird reason, if Dabo Swinney were to step down from Clemson's, you know, from the being a head guy at Clemson, and decided to take an NFL job, we can trade in. How do you believe we can trade in to? Yes and no. And my thing with that is, I personally believe that the Watson trade could have easily went down without having to, you know, give up 2 first-round picks. You know what I'm saying? I would have given up, say, definitely the first that we had in that draft, and I would have given up maybe 2 third-round picks at the most. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a second, depending on, you know, how I'm feeling, if I'm feeling jiggy with it or not. You know. ferocious. I feel you, but I mean that's not putting. You disrespecting this. You would be disrespecting Bill O'Brien when you think about it, because you demote him to OC and you bring in a college coach, a fresh college coach at that, to be the head coach. Yeah. I always gotta pee and shit. Sorry about that, guys. The wife is carrying my little ones and she had to pee, so. Yeah. Wow, really? We can? Bob is a terrible game manager. If anything, it helps him. I can agree to disagree with that. Because personally, in my own personal opinion, if Bob McNair, damn it, if B.O.B. had a good offensive coordinator, you wouldn't be seeing obvious pass plays, being run when you should be. It's clear that we should be running the ball. Or, when you have obvious run situations, like when we're at the goal line and you line up in a shotgun. It's not. Now, if you're pointing to those areas, yeah, I can understand where you're coming from when you say he needs to improve as a game manager. But all in all, I look at it like this: Bill O'Brien does what he does due to the fact that he doesn't necessarily have all of the personnel that he needs to do the things that he want to do. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure as a head coach, this dude would love to be able to line it up and run the ball if need be. Odell isn't ready for that, LOL. To be a head coach in the NFL? No, but would he be a great offensive coordinator, especially for Watson? Yeah, I think he could pull that off. But as far as Bob B.O.B. being a game manager, I personally believe that with a right head coach, with the right offensive coordinator calling the plays, you won't be seeing pass plays out of the shotgun at the 3-yard line. You know what I'm saying? Damn. But that was then. This is now. As far as the whole, let's talk about that. The whole John Gruden situation, because a few NFL analysts are looking at it. Well, I'm not gonna say NFL analysts. Skip and Shannon, they were looking at it from the same set of eyes that I was. Now, would going back to the Raiders actually help John Gruden? Meh. But when you think about it from the long run, would it ultimately end up fucking him? Yes. And let me explain how. Well, if you guys didn't, I'm not going to say if you guys, because if fans didn't realize this, Derek Carr and the Raiders regressed this year. Whether you want to accept that fact or not, they regressed. As and it's crazy because at the beginning of the year, before the year even started, everyone was saying the Raiders, especially after they signed Marshawn, oh, the Raiders are going to the Super Bowl. They might pull Calvin Johnson out of retirement. To do nothing but fall flat on their fucking face. And it was such a disappointment. Because me personally, I personally was expecting a lot more from Derek Carr, seeing as how we passed on him. They did. You can't blame that all on Jack Del Rio. Carr has a huge... True. And that's all the more reason that I'm glad you... Hold up. the real family. I'm glad you brought that up. Hold on, he's getting circled around by Nick Saber right now. But yeah, has. See, I mean, it further validates my point. You know what I'm saying? As an OC, Dabo Swinney would be perfect here in Houston. You know what I'm saying? Because he knows what Watson would be able to do in and out. You know, and he knows his strengths. He knows his weaknesses. As far as, you know, the John Gruden thing, you know, looking at it as a whole, as great as Khalil Mack was, I mean, I'm not gonna say was like he's retired or something. As great as Khalil Mack is, you know, you really didn't hear about him like that this year. You know what I'm saying? And that generally happens, you know. But I'm not cutting him any Swisher Wise TY. Get mad at J. Joe for like. Oh man, hey yo, all bullshit aside, I thought them dudes was gonna get ejected for real, cause not only did they exchanged a few jabs, it just luckily they went to the shoulder pads and they was all like, man, you get off me, no, you get off me, no, you get off me, type shit. You know what I'm saying? But I really thought they was gonna get ejected, real shit. Everyone said we should have drafted Derek, we should have drafted Carr, but think about it like this. Him behind this O-line would be scary. Him gets injured behind one of the best O-lines in football. I mean, I look at it like this with Carr, and this is why all the more reason why what I was going to say with the whole John Gruden thing. As much as John Gruden could possibly help Derek Carr, I personally just think as a head coach, what would end up fucking John Gruden in the end is the fact that he would be so heavily invested and focused on what Derek Carr is doing that I feel like he would get lost in that loop and wouldn't be able to just, you know, necessarily go and figure out the rest of his team, you know. And you know, that's just not good for business. John Gruden to trade Derek Carr. If he does, he's stupid, you know. But moving right along from that, I mean, just looking at it for what it is, that wouldn't be a good fit just off of the strength that the Silver and Black's defense isn't what it was when he got there the last time, you know. And when you look at it, when you match the two teams up, the Houston Texans and actually they not, you know. But when you look at the teams, like you look at the Oakland Raiders now and the Houston Texans now, if you compare the two teams, especially when healthy, Houston outclasses them in a landslide. And it's I'm not just being biased when I say that. I'm just looking at it from a pure football standpoint. Now, the Titans and the Raiders QBs are both disappointments. What's an idea of yours? I have a few of them, you know what I'm saying, but I don't want to get, you know, I don't want to get sandbagged for being, you know, one of those fans that just think overzealous, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna take a sip of this, and I'm just gonna heavily contemplate on whether I'm gonna actually give that idea out or not. I'm sorry to be a dick on the live stream, but if you met me in person, this is how I would be, you know. But all in all, I definitely believe that John Gruden would be a better fit here as an offensive coordinator versus going to Oakland. I hope we can package Kevin Johnson third round for first. Not happening. As much as the Patriots love third round picks, I don't want to deal with the devil. Not on that side of the ball. I'm sorry. How are you an NFL QB and throw 13 TDs? Hey, look at number 17. They losing Butler, so what's gonna happen with this GM situation? Really though, for real, for real. I mean, and my boy Ray Ray would be against this, but looking at it for what it is, I would definitely take a look at the Chiefs GM that got fired. You know, because like it or not, that dude put some talent, some real talent on the Kansas City Chiefs squad. I mean, from Tyreek Hill to that other burner, Hunt. You know what I'm saying? Just the list goes on. You know, so out of all of the GMs, you know, I know he got fired, but like the old saying goes, you know, another man's trash could be another man's treasure. You know what I'm saying? So I know there aren't a lot of options out there, but if I had to choose one, I would definitely start looking there. As far as offensive coordinators go, I can't believe I forgot to mention this, but Todd Haley from the Pittsburgh Steelers, you know what I'm saying? I don't think they bringing him back after this year. That'd be another interesting option, you know what I'm saying, to bring in. But hey, you know, we'll see. Let me get back to that question. Who said ferocious when he said, what ideas do I have that could possibly net us a first round pick, or better yet, could possibly get us our own first round pick back? You guys are gonna have to bear with me on this one. Hey, like it or not, I wouldn't be opposed to that, but looking at it for what it is, I feel like Peyton's mind could be more useful. I say Andre Johnson would be a nice pick. But nah, as far as Peyton Manning, I feel like his football mind would be put to better use for us with, you know, him being our offensive coordinator. Or nah, I can't even say that, because he'll personally knowing. Well, no, actually, Peyton Manning would be a good offensive coordinator because he'll be able to focus solely on the offense. And when you got a generational quarterback, Deshaun the King Watson, yes, Deshaun the King Watson, exactly, it's out of this world. You know what I'm saying? Now, like I said, his football mind and his football IQ would definitely suit us more as a offensive coordinator or a quarterback's coach more than a GM, in my personal opinion. Because as far as the GM goes, the best thing he'd be able to do is scout quarterbacks. And I mean, it sucks because we already got one now, but I mean, as far as that goes, that would be the only thing that I could see him doing as a GM, you know. Now Andre Johnson as a GM, I mean, I kind of feel the same way about Andre being they say GM John Elway is pursuing Mike Vrabel, and like you put at the end of like ferocious, like you put at the end of that, and let him. You know what I mean? Is what it's not gonna necessarily make or break. The Colts got permission from the Texans to interview Mike Vrabel. I piss on their offer just because they division rivals. You know what I'm saying? That's just me personally. As an ex-QB, you better draft on defense. No, I'm not Jolly. Are you talking about? We're talking about Peyton Manning. Why don't we let Bill O'Brien be the GM for this offseason? He knows what we need and he will have no excuses. True, but I mean, then again, you see. Here's one thing that I'm not. I don't believe everyone is quite understanding. Everybody wants. Bob to be the GM for this year, whatnot. Why? When you don't have a first or a second round pick. So you've already starting behind the 8 ball, you know what I'm saying, as far as that goes. So unless you, and then as far as for whoever asks me, you know, about what would I do to get a first round pick, I would definitely try and package, and like it or not, I would package in Lamar Miller. Yes, guys, Lamar Miller. I would package him. Let's see. Seeing as how we seen this, let's see. We sending because we sending this to Cleveland to try to get our 4th pick back. Okay, yeah, I would package Lamar. Nah, not JJ. I'm sorry, dude. Y'all gonna have to just bear with me on that shit. I am not trading JJ. Like, let's just get to the bottom line of that. Trading JJ is bad for business. You know what I'm saying? Like I've said in plenty of my other videos, if you trade JJ, yes, you free up cap space, but now you don't. Now you got another position of need that you have to fill, and that now JJ, exactly, Elijah Turner. I would definitely ask him to take a pay cut. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? With the money that he's making from, excuse me, doing HEB commercials and all that shit, he should be more than willing to take a pay cut. I've been saying Lamar Miller. Nah. Okay, let me throw this scenario at you guys. Seeing as how for every, like, high temperature. Oh crap. Let's see. Like I said, looking at it for what it is, you know, I would, seeing as how the picks they roll in from the next year. So this year's picks, you know, we would have those, which would be a bunch of 3rd round picks, you know, and from then on. Now, what I would do to try to get our 4th overall pick back, again, we've been trading with Cleveland, so why the fuck not? You know, let's see if we can work something out to try to get that pick back. I would trade Lamar Miller, seeing as how they don't have a solid guy running back. I would trade him. My 2019 second, or no. I take that back, because we would have 2 seconds that year. So now the only way I'm trading Kevin Johnson is if we somehow bring in 2 corners this year. We have to bring in 2 corners this year. Now, if you give me that, then sure. But all you have to do is trade your. Yeah, but that's true. But you also got to look at it like this. If we can jump that far to, you know, 2020, of course, yeah. Let them have that 2nd round pick with, you know, Lamar Miller and Kevin Johnson. I'll take that. You know what I mean? Nah, what are you talking about, Ferocious? We have, for 2019, we do have a 1st round pick. We didn't see what happened with that trade to get Watson. We gave up that year's, so we were picking at 25 at that point in time. We gave up the 25th overall pick, and then
next year's first, 2018. You know what I'm saying? What's his name? The real family, that safety from Alabama. What's his name? And drafts. No, I believe I don't know the same basketball. I'm telling you, but the NFL free agency happens and then the draft. You know, in basketball, it's the draft and then free agency. But yeah, now say we do package and, you know, say we do send Lamar Miller, 2020 second round pick, and say Kevin Johnson. Now with that pick, like it or not, as bad as we need, well, providing that we make that kind of trade, you know, that involves us. Actually, hold up. Because y'all look quick to say Kevin Johnson, but let's call it for what it is. I would much rather package in Kareem Jackson and dump his salary versus, you know, Kevin Johnson. Like, if you're looking at it from a number standpoint, if you're trying to help the team while helping your cap situation, then Kareem Jackson needs to be your choice. You know what I'm saying? Because I've watched Kareem give up plays time and time again. Yeah. The one play that burns me, even still to this day, was way back when Kareem played the Lions. Can y'all hear me now? Yo, let me know if y'all can hear me. Oh, okay. Cool. But I don't see who would. Oh crap, hold on, let me turn this down a little bit. Phone keeps saying, did you read my long comment? I said trade Lamar, JJ, and then call Steelers and get TJ Watt. And get TJ in there first. Then trade them both. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I like that idea, but I'm sorry. I can't roll with it. But yeah, like I was saying though, in order to get this year's first round pick back, I would package in Lamar Miller, Kareem Jackson, and if we could jump that far, a 2020 second. That's as far as I'm going. But fuck Kareem, exactly. You know, he's been getting burnt all season. You know, so not only would it help us out from a casualty standpoint, from a cap standpoint, but you get to get rid of a player that just consistently gets burned, you know. And I find it funny that everybody's just now hopping on the whole train of, you know, looking at how our cap situation is going to be looking at. Correct me if I'm wrong. Hold up, but why do you want to?
But I don't know about butt fucking him, but true. He was a first rounder and he's getting paid little. That's the only reason why. That's why I want to keep him. And as far as the whole Kareem thing, let's call it for what it is. If anybody's been butt fucking Kareem, it's goddamn Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? Because Tom Brady makes Kareem Jackson his bitch every time we play him, and ironically, he's always manned up against Grunt for some reason. Exactly, facts. And Ferocious, when you say, you want to keep KJ? Yeah, because okay. Let me explain. Calm down, guys. What up, Swish? I hope you had a good New Year. Appreciate it, man. Austin Reese was good, and it's always true, man. True. But like I said, with Kevin Johnson, I put him in the same category as far as this goes. I would put him in the same category as Jadeveon Clowney. Now, Jadeveon Clowney, after his first 2 years, he was hurt. So everybody was saying, let's get rid of him. Austin Reese. I can't do nothing but put my motherfucking head back down. Because it's true in a way. But Kevin Johnson, when he came out, he wasn't hurt. He was actually playing good football. He was showing the specific traits on the field for why they drafted him, and I believe that's personally this year. Now, I'm not going to be one of those fans that consistently, stands in a guy's corner, after year after year after year of getting toasted. You know what I'm saying? If he starts getting toasted next year, I have no choice but to ride along, jump in the bandwagon with you guys and say, hey, we gotta find somewhere to go we gotta find somewhere to send him. But looking at it for what it is, just like with Clowney, I'm pretty sure outside of myself and a handful of Texans fans, a lot of people were ready to just say we should try to trade Jadeveon Clowney, and now look at him. Not only is he dominating, but he's dominating without Watt and without Whitney. You know what I mean? So Malcolm Butler, is he the best free agent corner? No, but he's probably gonna get paid like it. But yeah, so I personally think that with a healthier front seven playing in front of him, I do believe that Kevin Johnson's play will continue to. Well, I ain't gonna say continue. I believe his play will pick up where it left off. But like the old saying goes, and if anybody knows old school football, these terminologies very well. Pass rush helps the coverage, and coverage helps the pass rush. You know what I'm saying? They go hand in hand. Let's call it for what it is, guys. What pass rush have we had here? You know what I'm saying? Since JJ and Whitney went down. Yeah, Clowney's been there, but where's Joe Heath been? Where's Brandon Dunn? I can tell you where they've been. They've been getting the shit blocked out of them. You know what I'm saying? That's where they've been. Huh? It's funny you say that, Elijah Turner, because everybody seemed to thought I was everybody kept seeming to think that I was tripping when I was saying we should trade for Derek Rivers. You know what I'm saying? Even though I don't think you can trade for an injured player and whatnot, when he comes off his ACL injury, I'm calling the Pats and saying, look, y'all spent a third round pick on him. We willing to give you, say, a third and a fourth
fucking give him here.
Yeah, I mean, Lamar. Yeah. Again?
Is that a video?
Streaming live.
Like I said, you just stay. Yeah, no.
Hold on, excuse me, guys. Gotta step out again.
Oh, it's coming on again, buddy.
Yeah.
McKinney, solid. I'm actually glad that, you know, the Houston Texans, I'm glad they listened to me, you know, in regards to, okay, Ferocious, you saying by trading JJ that would open 15% of the cap. Now, let me hit you with this. Do you realize that not only does JJ, he's eating up cap space, and this is one man. Brian Cushion is another guy that's eating up a lot of cap space. One man. Kareem Jackson, another guy eating up cap space. One man. We already traded away Dwayne Brown, so that was $10 million that we freed up. Now between Jonathan Joseph, Kareem Jackson, and Brian Cushion, you looking at, you know what I'm saying? You looking at, hold on, but it's a business, so I don't. True, but like I was getting ready to say, you know, if you cut Brian Cushion, Jonathan Joseph, and Kareem Jackson, that's easily a good 20 plus mil right there in cap space. Between 22 and 24 mil in cap space if you just cut those three players. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like I said, looking at it as a whole, I would much rather ask JJ to take a pay cut, or even force him to take a pay cut if need be, you know what I'm saying, before I consider trading him, you know what I'm saying, because, like, let's call it for what it, let me just give y'all a quick insight on how the football world views it, especially for a player like JJ Watt. Unless a team is like the Browns, unless they about to come off of both of their first round picks, which is the first and fourth, then even then you maybe consider that option. You know what I'm saying? Or right, the real family, or just reconstruct his contract. You know what I'm saying? Pull a Brady on his contract. That's all you got to do. Because like what people are failing to understand, JJ earned his money. Like, guys, let's stop acting like this man didn't have back-to-back 20 plus sack years. I'm putting it like this. You mean to tell me, if you guys who are watching this video right now, if you were DB, or let's just say for the sake of argument, because most of y'all are probably average DB height. Say y'all are DB and y'all go and get, say y'all are DB and y'all go out and have, say, 5-6 picks in back-to-back years, but you riding on you got a 3-year contract. Now, you just had, now for the NFL, having four picks is considered a good season. To have, you know, say 5 or 6 in a season is phenomenal. You know, and to have them back-to-back years, you would be considered to be, you know, one of the best that play your position. Now, if a team paid you for that, paid you solely off of, not even solely off of that, but mainly off of those 2 years, and like I say, you get your contract, you get paid, and then you get hurt back-to-back years. Would you be comfortable with a team wanting to cut you, or would you be more comfortable with a team asking you to take a pay cut? And be real with it, be real about it, because this is yourself you're talking about. You know what I mean? So I mean, you guys got to answer that question. They should give him a pay cut. Exactly. Take the pay cut. Y'all gonna take the pay cut. You know what I'm saying? So why is it that you guys are so adamant about wanting to trade JJ? But that's my point, the real family. JJ has earned his money. Like, let's not try to take that away from him. You know what I mean? Like it or not, whether he led us to the postseason or regardless of how many times he led us there or how far he led us there in the playoffs, fact of the matter is, he did his job at the highest level. You know what I'm saying? And this was before he had those 2 years. No, that's not true. That's solely on Rick Smith, because like I said, I can name quality backups that are out there from the front line to the linebackers to DBs that are probably free agents right now that we could have went and signed to help this team. I'm sorry, Ferocious. No. You're gonna have to come with something better than that. You know what I'm saying? Because in fact, let me prove that point right now. From the D line, you could have signed a guy who I mentioned in my earlier video, Jesse Williams. Easily, you could have signed him to a 1 or 2 year deal with and you only paying him like what, 1 or 2 mil. You know what I'm saying? Easily, you know what I'm saying? He could have easily been a solid rotational player. You know what I'm saying? Perhaps even a solid starter. You know what I mean? You can't pay talent with having the cap. Huh? I'm pretty sure you meant to say you can't pay the talent without having the cap space. Yeah, there you go. I'm pretty sure that's what you was trying to say. But even still, like, okay, let me put it like this, Ferocious. Before we traded Dwayne Brown, we had around $30 million in cap space. So I'm not trying to hear that. We could have signed players. We could have. This was solely a Rick problem. He chose not to do so, or either he chose not to do so, or he was told not to do so. Either way it goes, it fucked the team. True, it is a year-to-year league, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, the only reason why I would ask him to take a pay cut is because he's been hurt back-to-back years. That's the only reason why I would already have. We have on the 20. Where are you reading that? Because the way it's looking right now, cause we can't be at no 12 mil. We can't be, because we're getting ready to be well over it. Like, when the season's over with and we roll into the next year, especially when we roll into next season, we're gonna have we're gonna be in the same position that Jacksonville was in as far as cap space. So I don't understand how we could even be close to 12 million. Like, especially
if we make those 3 cuts that I've been talking about with letting go of Cushion, Jonathan Joseph, and Kareem Jackson, I don't. Nah. I mean, I'm subscribed to it, but I mean, I wish I was in it right now, cause you know what I'm saying. I'd be like, pass that Kush over here, man. Straight up. Straight up. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. We gonna have well over at least 60 to 70 mil in full blown cap space. Especially, like I said, if we make those 3 cuts, we could have roughly over 70 to 80 mil in cap space. Which teams have a lot. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't really just look into other teams like that and all that other good jazz, but I mean, like I said, I try to focus on the Texans as far as it goes, you know, with as a whole. The time has come. The first round safety. Like I said, it all depends on how free agency shakes out, because personally, like I said in my video earlier, you know, if we can get the safeties that, you know, if we can get Trey Boston and Eric Reed, I personally like, you know, Corey Moore and Marcus Gilchrist being backups to those dudes. You know what I'm saying? I like that more than anything. You know what I mean? But to draft a safety, they had opportunities to do that in this year's draft, and they passed on guys. I was more pissed at the fact that we passed on 2 highly touted corners two corners that I had high. I was highly I spoke highly about these dudes. You know, not only did we pass up Akello Witherspoon, but we passed up Kevin King. And ironically enough, both guys, not only did they stand out at the combine, but they had pretty good years. I feel you, King. I feel you a lot, Turner. I wanted King too. I wonder how much Patrick Peterson will want. I mean, if what are your thoughts on our? Right now, hold on. Let me first address the Pat P thing. As far as Patrick Peterson, I wouldn't. If he wants more than, say, 8 mil, you gotta leave that where it's at. As great a talent as he is, you know, and this is one page that I've respectfully learned to take from my boy Ray Ray's book. You know, players that are on the back end of their career, it's unforeseen what they may do. So if you throw, you know, big boy money at them and they don't produce, you basically got Stephen Gilmore, or you got Gilmore, so to say. Make that a trend. You know what I'm saying? On the offensive side of the ball, when you dish out big money to a player and he don't produce, you got Brock. Straight up, you got Brock. Or you got Ozd. You know what I'm saying? From a defensive standpoint, seeing as how the Pats paid Stephon Gilmore so much money and he hasn't been worth a damn, that's my slogan for the defensive guys. You guys got Gilmore, straight up. Okay, now Ferocious, to your thing about the tight end situation with Zach Kumm. I like him. I definitely agree that he could be I forget what his skin tone is. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely feel like he could be a faster Gronk for us. I do believe that. Now, in regards to that, how do you complete that package? Hold on, just from a show of everybody that's watching this live stream right now, who all knows how many of you guys know who Bucky Hodges is? Because if you watch if you fuck with my channel, y'all should know by now, you know, who he is and why I want him here. But you know, just want to know from you guys, do any of you guys know who Bucky Hodges is without having to Google him? What do you think a little bit is going to bring? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Ferocious. I mean, as far as the Butler situation, but I mean, with Bucky Hodges, I mean, I'm gonna put it like this. I believe in the kid so much that because I watched so many Virginia Tech games, I'm willing to trade for this man. That's how much I believe in this kid. Now, I'm sorry, you know, a lot of my fellow YouTubers, you know what I'm saying, they don't view football players the way I do. You know, they don't scout them the way I do. You know what I'm saying? I look at it from a more analytical standpoint, you know. And to me, Bucky Hodges is the perfect, well, let me put it like this. In today's NFL, he could be the perfect tight end. At 6'7", why? I mean, you guys is quick to say you doubt he'll be let go, but like I just said, I believe in him so much that I'm willing to trade for him. And seeing as how he was drafted in, I think, the 6th round, whatever team has him, I believe the Panthers have him, I'm pretty sure they'll take a 4th round pick for him. Or if anything, a 5th. You know, but moving right along to why I believe he's on the Panthers. I think he's on their practice squad, which further, if he's on that practice squad, then you could just sign him. So I'm still not understanding how he wouldn't be let go. You know, but like I said, Bucky Hodges, he's 6'7", 2, I want to say he Clemson really, yeah, they are. See, Bucky Hodges, he's 6'7", 250, 255, no, 257 to be exact. His 40 was a 4.57. And like I say, remember, he's 6'7", guys. You know, 40 time was a 4.57. He had like a 38 or 39 inch vertical. I can't remember his cone and shuttle drills, but they were decent. But you know, the main things that got to me was the fact that, again, he's 6'7", 4.57 at 257 pounds. And this is with his equipment on, guys. When you look at it from an analytical standpoint, once you get, well, you can hit this dude at any parts of the field, you know, but what has been a major downside for the Houston Texans? Exactly, he would be a freak of nature, and with Deshaun the King Watson throwing him the football, it would be a match made in heaven. You know what I'm saying? You know, again, like the old saying goes, you know, receivers make quarterbacks, and in most cases, quarterbacks can make a receiver. Now, I don't know if a lot of people paid attention to this, but Ryan Griffin wasn't shit his whole career. All of a sudden, Watson enters the lineup and he's catching back shoulder touchdowns in the back of end zones and shit. I mean, maybe I'm just stupid, or yeah, that's what happens. That's what you can expect to happen when you have a good quarterback. Yeah. Real shit. Exactly. You know what I mean? So if he was able to turn a tight end who wasn't shit, whose athleticism doesn't even hold a candle to Bucky Hodges, imagine what kind of talent or what kind of production he could give you with this man. That's the question. You know what I'm saying? As far as another tight end that I don't understand how he was a free agent all throughout the year, but again, looking at it for what it is, actually, I'm glad that he's been a free agent this whole year because he's had time to heal from all his concussions and whatnot that he had in San Diego. Bucky is taking we need some tea that can actually, yeah, and that's another thing. That's another reason why I would definitely target Bucky Hodges. He can run block. Not only can he run block as an inline tight end, but again, if you flex this man out wide and put him on the island as a wide receiver, now teams defenses are gonna be worried that you might throw him the ball, and when you actually catch him slipping with a run, he too big. He'd be too big to be, you know what I'm saying? He'll be too big for most DBs out there, you know what I'm saying? He'd be bullying them, literally bullying them. Get your bitch ass on the ground. Type of football. You know what I mean? And then like I said, don't let Watson into the red zone with these two type of tight ends, because with Zach Kump as an inline tight end, he's more than likely going to be faster and bigger than the linebackers covering him. So you have your option in the middle. If you flex Bucky Hodges out wide and you have him out there on the island one-on-one against a corner, all you need to do is put the right touch on the ball, and that's going to be a touchdown every time. I don't care what anybody has to say. 6'7" versus 6'1", 6'2", 6'7" is going to always win. You don't believe me? Go watch a bunch of Brady to Gronk connections. Go watch a few of those. You don't believe me? Go watch Alex Smith to Travis Kelce. I'm just saying, it happens. You don't believe me? Go check out Ben Roethlisberger to Jesse James. You know what I'm saying? But hold on, I gotta go get this charger real quick, guys. Hold on. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. But your boy is back. Nobody can cover Gronk apart. So exactly, you know what I'm saying? And if you ask me, and I've been saying this, you know what I'm saying? So in the event that if he does turn out to be like this, whether he's with the Texans or not, Bucky Hodges is a pure combination of Travis Kelce, Rob Gronkowski, and Antonio Gates. What do you mean, one thing? And the reason why I say he's a mixture of all three of those tight ends rolled into one player.
I am too a little bit, but when you look at it for what it is, if you go and get the right guy as the offensive coordinator, like I said, you don't you minimize the fact of probably having a negative play happen, when you in the red zone, or if you at the 3 yard line. You're not about to, most offensive coordinators aren't going to line up in a shotgun unless they're planning to either hit a yeah, I do want us to get Gruden. I want us to get him too. Most offensive coordinators, they aren't gonna call a run play down at the 3 yard line out of the shotgun unless it's a QB counter, QB power, or a QB jet sweep. I'm just sorry. You know what I'm saying? Out of the shotgun, those are the main plays that you can really run that could be effective. You know what I'm saying? Because you're out leveraging a defense. You know what I'm saying? That's another key aspect of why I want these specific players. You know what I'm saying? Because schematically, you can out leverage your opponents. I don't know why everyone seems to think I'm an idiot for this, but connect the dots, motherfuckers. The damn Patriots have been doing it for 10 plus years. It's all systematic. It's all schematics. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? But I'm the idiot, I guess, for wanting to revolutionize it, so to say. Like I said, I can't begin to tell you how much shit I catch for, or how much shit I've caught for, for me saying that I wanted the Houston to trade for Martavis Bryant. Like I said again, that move is it would have been purely made off of schematics and the type of damage that he could do from an analytical standpoint. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, and you can just type in true or false in the comment section below. With a athlete, like Martavis Bryant, when you pair him up with Nuke Hopkins and Will Fuller, with a player like Martavis Bryant, you can now move Will Fuller into the slot. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Will Fuller, it's only a handful of DBs that can necessarily run with Will Fuller stride for stride. You know what I'm saying? That's proven. And Martavis Bryant is 6'4", 211, and is only a step slower than that. Am I the only one who feels I only do so much? Yeah. And see, like I said, if you're looking at it from that standpoint, that's not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? But see, again, why would I want to add a guy like Martavis? Simple. If Fuller is gonna be your deep guy, it's not rocket science, is that he had a whole bunch of touchdowns and a few catches. Exactly. Now, like I said, from a overall standpoint, acquiring, like I said, originally my whole thought process for going out and getting Martavis was to counteract really what the Patriots were doing. He was going to be my Patriot equalizer, so to say. Because when you think about it, the Patriots are going to always take away your best player and force you to beat them with your other players. Now, since the Texans have existed, can you honestly name, outside of Kevin Walter, can you honestly say that, can you honestly give a solid validation on any other receiver being a solid number 2 before. And this is, before, I'm talking about before Hopkins was drafted and all that. Or matter of fact, you can throw that in the mix, you know what I'm saying? But also factor in the fact that when he was a starter, how long did it take for them to go and draft Will Fuller? I mean, just y'all notice the pattern that I'm getting at here though? Whenever we had to go play upper echelon teams knew the game plan for Andre Johnson. Thank God Arian Foster, became who he was. Otherwise, teams were just they knew we weren't going to run the ball, and you shut down Andre Johnson and you got yourself a winning formula. He gives you better. Oh my goodness, the real family. Exactly. And like I said, when you're looking at it from that standpoint, if you got Will Fuller in the slot, now, again, for a lot of this is for the guys that don't necessarily, they watch football, but they don't pay attention to the game itself. Most corners that are in a slot, they're often the team's third receiver. I mean, not receiver, but that third DB. You know what I'm saying? Which means that guy is either he's used to playing, but he's used to not having a lot of game time experience, or he's just not used to playing. Either way it goes, Will Fuller would definitely be better than that guy. And like I said, when you look at the game of football, exactly, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, when you look at it for what it is, like I said, okay, let's look at it. Let's use this scenario. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? If, say, we were to bust that trade, most teams would definitely be trying to stop Hopkins, because out of all 3 of those receivers, Hopkins has had the most consistency, among the 3. Now, from a week-to-week, matchup-to-matchup standpoint, it's really pick your poison. You know what I'm saying? And I find it odd that Houston Texans fans try to give me shit for this. What would you draft in the first round if you was drafting for the Texans? I mean, we don't have a first round pick, so I mean, until we get one, it's really irrelevant until this point. I mean, I hate to put it like that, but we just signed to reserve them for next year, and those good 9 guys are. But yeah, like I say, looking at it from this standpoint, if a team is game planning against Hopkins, what I'm saying, odds are they're going to double Hopkins. But say knowing Watson, who's going to go through his progressions like a true quarterback, you know what I'm saying, if they got Hopkins doubled, okay, boom, go to your second read. You know what I'm saying? Which more than likely would be Fuller, you know what I'm saying, if he's scanning the field, left to right. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, his third and final option, seeing as how he's looking across the whole field, would be Martavis. You know what I'm saying? Now, even if the first guy doesn't, which is Hopkins, if he don't break open, Fuller's going to get open. And for some odd reason, if they do decide to roll the coverage to where they have both of those guys covered, you still would have a tight end and Martavis on this side. You know what I'm saying? Now, from a DB standpoint, trying to cover Will Fuller is one thing, but to try to cover Martavis Bryant one-on-one, and see, this is one thing that I would love to debate with, my boy Wink, or Third Coast, as y'all know him.
I would love to debate this with him about. And you guys actually can let me know, in the comment section below. Knowing the type of athleticism that Martavis brings to you at 6'4", 211, being a slight step slower than Will Fuller. In man-to-man coverage, how many, Ashley, can you name, how many DBs can y'all name that could keep up with this man stride for stride? I get your point, Ferocious. I get the point with these guys. Exactly. It would be a huge mismatch for teams. But for some reason, because the numbers don't show up on the stat sheet, guys like Wink and, now I keep calling him Wink, Third Coast, they want to debate this with me. Even Honcho at times have been like, I don't necessarily see it, D. And I hey, this is America, you know what I'm saying? We can all agree to disagree. But, I mean, just like I said, just looking at it from an analytical standpoint, and Martavis Bryant would vote, like I said, if you guys thought we put up 57 points on Tennessee, imagine being able to do that to every team we play against. I'm talking about every team. Top notch. It don't matter. I don't know. It remains to be seen. I would love to see them go off, but hey, it remains to be seen. As far as the safeties go, I mean, they could have easily gotten Kaya Nuka from BYU. He fell as much as Rick Smith loves undrafted free agents. That was one guy, that undrafted free agent, that he missed on. You know what I'm saying? And Nuka, like I said, he was one safety that I scouted highly, you know what I'm saying, coming out of last year's draft. You don't have 4 picks in college. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't just, 4 picks over his career span. Like, the kid had 4 picks that season. You know what I'm saying? Clearly he shows the ball hawking ability to know where the ball is going to be at, But then again, a lot of scouts probably looked at it like, he's playing for BYU, so no team can. Exactly, man. Exactly. But I'm looked at as, by some Texans fans, I'm looked at as that guy that just won't. They feel like I'm too high. They feel like I be getting high with Martavis Bryant. You know what I'm saying? That's why I want him so bad. I just don't understand. I don't understand that thought process and all that. And it's funny you mention that, because a lot of guys from Alabama, Kareem Jackson, they really good in college and then get to the pros when they happen to ball by themselves, and they typically don't do well. True. I mean, well, at least Clemson, on the other hand, they've shipped off some guys that are proven commodities. I mean, I can't say that. Like it or not, Clemson has produced. They haven't produced more NFL players, but they produced more NFL ready players, so to say. Because, I mean, like it or not, when you got Sammy Watkins, DeAndre Hopkins, Deshaun Watson, motherfucking Martavis Bryant, TJ Green, DJ Reader,
we all say all time greats are not. True. Not all of the greats have been first round picks. That is true. You know what I'm saying? But since we on the subject of offense, and seeing as how I've covered the whole Ladarius Green, the whole Martavius Bryant situation, tell me what you guys think of Ladarius Green and how he could be, how would he be if he was, if he were to be signed here? If you guys know who he is. I mean, let me give you guys a quick insight if you don't know who he is. But Ladarius Green he's a tight end. He recently played. Last team he played for was the San Diego Chargers before they moved to LA. Concussions. He kept having concussions and whatnot. That's what led to. I mean, he had concussions and a few other injuries. That's what led the Chargers to cut him. But they drafted him in the first rounds, I believe. So I mean, as far as physical talent goes, I would say there's only maybe 2, maybe 3 tight ends in the whole entire league that are faster than him. And I'm going out on a far limb and saying it's 2 or 3. I really think it's 2. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about as far as overall athleticism, speed, agility, and all that. There's only maybe 2 tight ends that are faster and more agile than him. You know what I'm saying? From a hand standpoint, dude hands are solid. And as far as his height and weight, he's 6'6", 240. Now, he may not be the best blocker, but his receiving talents far outweigh what he would be able to do as a blocker. Damn, battery completely died. That's crazy. I remember when scouts thought Watson was going to be a bust when he got drafted. Yeah, and look at him now. Look up. Holy shit.